Look, fellas, it's Lisa in the sky. No diamonds, though. Oh. Look out for that drawing of Queen Victoria! And welcome back to the best coffee break you're gonna have all day long. That's right. We're taking a break together. We are comic book fans and we love talking about comics, floppies, funny books, stories, serials, trade paperbacks, graphic novels, manga, manhwa if you want to. I've never read a manhwa yet. I have friends out there that make content about Asian comics. Perhaps it's time to hit them up for some information. Wouldn't that be cool? This is why we meet here at the comics coffee table. We exchange ideas. We try to turn each other on to new stuff. The coffee table was always where my friends and I would hang out. There would be a stack of books. There's always a stack of books here. A stack of books, a stack of movies, a stack of music. And back then it was in the medium was a compact disc. So just imagine a towering Jenga of jewel boxes. That's what we would call the case, the hard plastic case of the compact disc of the albums we listened to. There would be stacks of movies, whether in their VHS or DVD or Blu-ray cases, and there would be a stack of books. There would be a stack of comic books and trade paperbacks and graphic novels, and we're always trying to get each other to turn each other on to each other's stories. And like, what? You haven't read Grant Morrison? Well, what? You haven't read Warren Ellis? Whoa. So it's stuff like that, like trying to turn each other on. Like, huh? You never read? You've only seen the X-Men movies? You've never read the comics? Where would you start? See, and this is part of the show, is the live chat and the comment section, because we perpetuate and continue this comic book shop style conversation. We keep it going. If I'm here at 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern Daily for the live chat premiere, I'm there. It's a great bunch of people, and it's always good to see you, and it's a good conversation. We're taking a break, and we're talking about comic books. You can too. Any time of day when it's time for your break, tune in. But we premiere 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. We talk about comic books just for a few minutes every day. We're taking a break. We're proving it's possible, like these comic book shop style conversations. Where would you suggest to a friend who's never read the X-Men where to start? Would the beginning be the best place? Would the new team in 1975, the modern team, would the Dark Phoenix saga maybe even suggest the Fox Kids cartoon of the 90s? My mind went there. It's like, hey, you want to see another version of before you get to the comics, maybe you should try one of the many cartoon versions of the X-Men. I love the X-Men. I've grown up as an X-Men fan. So, but yeah, a big part of this show is to, I'm reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire collection. I thought it would make a great excuse to have conversations daily about comic books. We look at comic books. We talk about art and artists and writers and stories and where we were and what we have and did we have that, and just what not and what about. And along the way, while I'm reboxing, reboarding, rebagging my entire collection, I'm getting my head around grading and value. This is a really important part of our hobby. Have you ever looked at your comic book collection and wondered, how much is my comic book collection worth? Well, I'm doing that, and it's It's not an exact science. I am not coming up with absolute prices. I just experienced comic book collection, comic book convention, the dollar bins. I mean, and you just, when you look at the dollar bins at a convention and then go home and regard your own collection, maybe it should feel a bit more curated and intimate and less about its intrinsic and momentary monetary value. But yeah, I mean, grading comics has been really fun to learn about, especially just here's one for Doc of the show. Wes from Thinking Critical has me on his Saturday show, Comics Aficionados. Perhaps you found my show through his show, and thank you, Wes, for having me on. One of Wes's permanent co-host, and it's a six-person panel. There's Wes, and then there's Doc. And then there's 4 open seats that, rotate between whomever Wes wants to invite. And I'm blessed and grateful to be one of those people. And I've met so many awesome people. I've probably met you in his live chat. I'm blessed and grateful for Wes. But Doc brings up something. He's their curmudgeon of the bunch, and he's salty and he's grumpy, but he's right a lot of the times. We have this long-standing line at the show, #Doc is right. And he says, like, that's not a comic book. That's not a comic book. That's not a comic book. Well, I come bearing some information to support Doc's claim that something he's pointing out that is not a comic book might not be a comic book. Now, we want to embrace the spirit of something like manga, manhwa, or even like funny book strips in a newspaper and a collection of those as serialized art and story and comics form storytelling. But what is a comic book? A comic book is one of these. A periodical, a serialized form of a long-form story with advertisements, a cover, an indicia colophon, and it's got attributes. And I'm going to show you why. Because here, in this industry standard of comic book collecting, Overstreet is a name and has earned its spot as probably the one of the biggest standards in comic book collecting. So, like it or hate it, we have to accept that this is one of the many standards, I guess, of grading comics. Yet, what is a comic book? Well, here is a diagram of a comic book. Beyond grading, beyond corners and spine roll and everything, here we have on page 22 of the most current edition of the Overstreet Guide to Grading Comics from 2001, the 6th edition. This, my friends, is the definition of a comic book. A comic book has all of these elements. Now, if a comics form storytelling medium lacks several of these, I would say that's not a comic book. Doc is right. Let me know in the chat and in the comments section what you feel about that one. What is a comic book? I agree. Yeah. Hey, one of my favorite things growing up was Garfield from the daily strip, the Sunday big one in color, and then buying the rectangular sideways collections of Garfield books that were inexpensive, and I thought they were funny, and I loved those 3 panels daily. Just maybe 4. It could be 1. It depends how you can tell your story, in the panel itself. But is that a comic book? No. This, my friends, this is a comic book. Ads. And, the indicia colophon. And a staple in the center. And, prices in a other things. Yeah. Duck is right. And if you're new to the show, because I see new people daily, it's great. Another reason to go to your local comic book shop, for me personally, I'm an advocate, I'm an activist, and I want, not, but in that spirit of like messaging and agenda, what obvious on the nose agenda and messaging and advocacy and our message pushing are you going to see in this our very program? Get your frigging supplies at your local comic book shop, please. I'm paying the markup at retail. I could be getting these on my online supply chain with free shipping and the built-in movie network. You know what I'm talking about. Instead, I'm getting my supplies at my local comic book shop, the mom and pop brick and mortar shop, where it counts the most. I want to keep my comic book shop alive and thriving as long as I can, beyond my years, hopefully. Hopefully my contribution will keep my local comic book shop open for the next 1,000 years. That means lots of trees in our future. That's a very positive future. That means people, stories. Come on, get aboard. I'm switching from long boxes to short boxes. The older I get, the heavier these long boxes get too. So while I'm making the effort, I'm changing my scope a bit. You know what I mean? I'm also getting bags and acid-free boards. And as I said, I am volunteering basically to pay markup, the retail cost. And but that helps my comic book shop, because ordering online, that's one way we can get our supplies. Lots of us do it. Yeah, sure. But can we be helping our comic book shops more than just buying the new releases and used trades and showing up once a year at Free Comic Book Day? This Saturday is Free Comic Book Day, first Saturday of May every year. Check it out. Now is the time to get your ass to the LCS. You're gonna see kids there. You're gonna see people there. You know what I mean? Bring a mask if that's what's gonna make you comfortable. Wear a mask, and you can wear gloves still too. Do anything you feel like, but please get out of the house and go to your local comic book shop, especially for Free Comic Book Day. It's Saturday. But yeah, so and while you're there, pick up you need boxes, you need bags, you need boards. Get them there, silly. Sully said so. Awesome. Yay. Hey, I wanted to do this for old time's sake. Last year, on May the 4th, dun 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 dun. Where was my cursor? May the 4th, we made a video that was 13 minutes and 7 seconds long. We were starting to finally get comfortable pushing the format over 10 minutes and into between a 10 to 15 minute show, a daily show. I was just, starting. I started in January 1st of 2022. We got 7 views. And where is it? Why is there a pile of clothes? You never do that. You're usually a bit more tidy than... Yes, Pika, you're right. That is Undrinka. He frames the shots. He's the cameraman operator. Are you drinking on the job again, sir? Fuck off, Sully. All right, and back to the show. Last year, we were using this. The Golden Age of DC Comics, 365 days. And it gave us the ability to get to know how to talk about comic books once a day, every day. And we did that all year long. It's a coffee table book. A hardcover coffee table book given to me about 2 decades ago by one of my best friends. This has been surfing my coffee table all that time. And it's been always a great excuse to talk about comic books. People would pick this up off my coffee table. They would do something such as turn to today's date. What is today? It's May the 4th. We would look at some comic book art of an antediluvian age. We would read the blurb, and then we would talk about comic books. And we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. That's right, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern daily. Like and subscribe. Turn on those notifications. Ring that bell. Yeah, that's where the show started. And I wanted to... Oh, I dropped my bookmark. If you want a bookmark, let me know. It's just my business card. I give them out for free if I see, yeah, but they make a great bookmark. I love it. It's a book. It's a show about books, using books and having books. Yeah. So let's look at the, we're going old school for a couple of minutes. Why not? I thought this is fun. All right. And you could check out last year's show too. And, just see how far we've came. Honestly, and I couldn't have done it without you. You're the most important ingredient to this show in the channel is you and showing up and being part of this. Thank you so much. We are blessed and grateful. Seriously. All right. This is story by Gardner Fox, art by E.E. Hibbard from Flash Comics number 3, March of 1940. World War II had just started over in Europe, basically, too. The United States won't enter World War II officially until almost 1942. December 8th, 1941. See, that's only, calendar, math. So yeah, the Flash is halfway up the staircase of the Empire State Building in 1 second. Eek! Goes the lady. And there's you see the stairs. You see the swoosh of speed lines. The illusion of super speed. He's going by so fast. The lady is frightened. She drops her purse. It's a second, so it's suspended, and this is a frame of just 1 second. And look, there's the breeze that Jay Garrick has caused has uplifted the front of her skirt, maybe kind of in a very scandalous way too, perhaps. Or just perhaps just showing motion, because that's what happens to lady skirts when there's a wind, and we can see in the background, we can see the elevator as well. Can you see that? You see the dial, you see the buttons, the 2 buttons, up or down. Elevators have a binary choice. But what about a non-binary elevator? Does it go sideways? That would make it a turbo lift. LLAP, IDIC, id plebnista. That's punny. May the 4th. And see, this is why I was going for some kind of evergreen content as well. There'll be a May 4th next year. You could use this book every year. And I've had it for almost 2 decades, and it's very handy. People would pick it up off my coffee table, thumb through it. Usually they'll go to today's date, but also they'll just go through and just look at the pictures and be like, oh, I didn't know that this was that old. Oh, look at that Superman. Wow, when was this? It's always been a prompt for great comic book shop style conversations. This book. There's a link in the description to its Amazon page, and there always has been. It's been there from day one. Get your own copy, play along at home. And you know what? It makes a great gift for a geek. I know. Once DC established that the Flash was the fastest man alive, it fell to the artists to discover ways of depicting super speed. The simplest, introduced by the character's original artist, Harry Lampert, was to draw a series of speed lines behind the character. Lampert, who only worked on the Flash's first 2 stories, also introduced the more startling technique of constructing the hero's entire body out of parallel lines. Of course, the easiest way out was just to put in a lot of lines and leave the figure drawing out of the picture entirely, thus cutting down on the work while simultaneously suggesting that the Flash was quicker than the eye. Those are real Ben-Day dots. If you hear me go on about Ben-Day dots, these are like, 4-colored dots. And when they were put, close or farther together of, certain, size, this is how you make color, depth and shading. And it was the way to, make, those were pixels. Ben-Day dots were literally pixels, as we know them today on our screens, and resolution of the so it was like Ben-Day dots were printing's low res pixels. That's I think that's a great way to put that. And so when I see the Ben-Day dot digital filter used as shadowing or in coloring in modern comics, it makes no sense whatsoever, and it's kind of it's overused. And because there was once upon a time when it was used to describe a long ago, and you added that Ben-Day dot, it wouldn't be Ben-Day dots, it was a digital filter, and it evoked the nostalgia. It was like this was set when Batman and Robin year 2, and Dick Grayson is probably 13, just turned 13, and something, and so you have Ben-Day dots, so just to evoke the rustic nature that this was naturally. So yeah, that's those are the whole Ben-Day dot debacle. Sully's Ben-Day dot debacle. Ben-Day dot debacle. Yeah. Speaking of long boxes to short boxes, long box. 50 pounds of funny books. 50 pounds of funny books. 50 pounds of funny books. This is the Mostly Marvel book box. It is stained. The corner's blown out. See? I'm reboxing, reboarding, and rebagging my entire collection for a reason. It's very practical. And while I'm doing it, I'm just getting my head around grading. Wow, it's just such a great little, great little thing. It's huge. It's I really never gave it much thought, to be honest. I like a readable copy, sure. I'm not in for investing in my collector's value, but I am appreciating what I got and what it could be potentially worth, especially with the lens of hindsight that I should have been using backing boards the entire time. I could have prevented a lot of unnecessary spine roll. So if you are new to buying comics, get bags and get boards, please. And you don't have to bag and board all your comics, I guess. I'm evaluating some. I'm like, do I really need to bag and board these comics? But if I end up selling them to somebody, if they're decent, I would, as a buyer, it's a little sus when you get a Gemini mailer or the such from eBay and the comics aren't bagged and board individually. And I don't know. It takes a little. It helps with the mailing. It probably adds to the weight, but these are the things that I'll be experiencing next when the show goes into the future. Yes, 1,000 years into the future. People will still be watching us and reading our live chat and being like, these ancient humans like printed publications of the mythological gods. Stuff like that. There we go. What a nice cuppa. There's also a radio button in the banner. Get your own. It'll deliver. Yep. Quality. All right. We were talking about Secret Avengers. Let's talk more about Secret Avengers. Secret Avengers. You guessed this. I'm reading it from the Wiki. You got it. Wiki. ATST. That's my The wiki is my Rich Evans reference. I love Red Letter Media. Red Letter Media would be on my mount. Put Mr. Plinkett on the Mount Rushmore of YouTube creators that mentored me, that made me want to be a YouTube content creator. I love Red Letter Media. Check them out. Secret Avengers is an American comic book series. Let's try that again. Secret Avengers is an American comic book series published by Marvel Comics, the House of Ideas, featuring a fictional Black Ops superhero team of the same name. The series started with Ed Brubaker. Now, Ed Brubaker was a big name for a long time, especially at Marvel. Well, at DC, too. Street level, gritty, dark stuff. Brubaker was one of the names. You know, I wonder what he's been doing lately. We should check him out. You know, Black Ops. What are Black Ops? Is a black operation. Is a covert or clandestine operation by a government agency, a military unit, or a paramilitary organization, such as the Avengers. It can include activities by private companies or group. Key features of a black operation are that it is secret and it is not attributed to an organization. Yeah, interesting. It operates under the guidance of Captain Steve Rogers, the former Captain America. The series is part of the Avengers line relaunch as part of the Heroic Age. The Heroic Age was one of these many yearly Marvel things. It went from because Heroic Age happens after Siege. Siege happens after Dark Reign. Dark Reign happens after Secret Invasion. Secret Invasion happens after Civil War 1. You get it? So the Heroic Age was post-Siege. The Heroic Age is a 2010 comic book branding that ran through a number of books published by Marvel Comics. It began in May of 2010. Yeah, and it was just, it was a status quo, marking a major change in the status quo of the Marvel Universe after the events of the Siege crossover event and how to deal with the Initiative and the Dark Reign storylines. Going forward with, we have Thor back, we have Captain America back, we have Steve Rogers back. Yeah. And that was the Heroic Age, yeah. And so out of the Heroic Age came the New Avengers. Did we do those all? We did we did. Yeah, we did all of Warren Ellis's. This is Warren Ellis's new Secret Avengers run that I could bundle and sell for maybe $20, maybe $15. There we go. That's one for the thing. I still have to, I think, get an eBay account, I guess. We were talking about New Universal a little bit. I wanted to get into Ultimate Spider-Man, but I really feel like Ultimate Spider-Man deserves its own week. I was going to say day, but who are you kidding? Did you like Ultimate Spider-Man? Did you read Ultimate Spider-Man? Did you like Ultimate Spider-Man? I did. We came back to comics in 2001, and so I was there. I'm not no pun of ground zero for Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimate Marvel Team Up, which was great. And from Ultimate Spider-Man came Ultimate X-Men and the Ultimates and the whole enchilada of the Ultimate Universe. Yeah, I think and there's a new Ultimate comic coming out, written by Jonathan Hickman, drawn by Brian Hitch. It has this legendary cover price of like $9.95. And are you willing to spend that much on a floppy? Especially like a serialized story written for me. Like what I always say is written for the trade. Wouldn't it be better for me to wait for the trade for this one? Should I skip this and just read the wiki? Decisions. I'm tempted because I would like to buy Marvel comic books. I want to support good talent. I guess I should have been reading Strange Academy. Scotty Young's the writer, but it's art by Humberto Ramos, and I love that guy. And I was blessed. I got to see him at Boston Wicked Comic Con. I got to press flesh with him, shake hands, look him right in the eye, and tell him how much I appreciate him. And I only was gushing about Spider-Man. I mean, I didn't get to Impulse. I didn't get to Crimson. I forgot. I should have doubled back and thanked him for Impulse. He's a co-creator of Bart Allen. I mean, he did so many issues of Impulse. I love those comic books, and especially the Rebus puzzle word balloons, and that of course Bart's from the 31st century. Of course he thinks in emojis. We didn't have the word emoticon or emoji yet in 1995, when Bart Allen has his thinking bubbles and they're filled with little emojis. We would call that a Rebus puzzle, and you just have to figure it out, like sound it out. Like I'll be right back, kind of thing. Yeah, it's fun, but we got to wrap this up for today. Thank you so very much for tuning in today. We talk about comic books every day, and we're going to talk about comic books every day for the rest of the year. So tune in tomorrow, 3 p.m. U.S. Eastern, when we will find out who we're talking about when we turn the page tomorrow. Please like and subscribe. I would love to earn your subscription. We make daily content here. We talk about comic books daily. We talk about cooking. We talk about spirituality and purpose, and whatever else crosses our mind, and the occasional hot take as well. We're a growing YouTube channel, and we're almost over our first 1,000 on the way to monetization. If that is even our goal, I would just like to, be like what my executive producer said. He said, no. You got to catch them all. Got to catch them all. Thank you so very much for tuning in. God bless. Namaste. Good luck. We will see you again tomorrow in those funny pages. Ciao. Bye-bye.